Hello everyone, my name is Gunashekar, currently pursuing 4th BTech CSC in Mission Institute of Technology. In this video, we'll explore a CRM application designed for managing client relationships and property applications in real estate. From tracking client interactions to organizing property details, this CRM streamlines everything, making client management and property recommendations effortless. Let's dive in. These are all the activities I have completed to create an application. The first activity is to create a jot form and integrate it with the org. The process is open your browser and search for jot form to login. After login, click on create form and click on start from scratch. Then create the form as mentioned here. Once the form is created, publish it by clicking on publish. Here is the sample link. Here is the form that I have created under the name Dreams World to take all the details from the customer. The next activity is to create objects from the spreadsheet. Go to your object manager and click on create object from spreadsheet. Click on the link given here to get the spreadsheet, and after downloading it, upload the file and map all the fields to create an object. Here I have already created the customer object. The finished customer object of yours will look like this. The next task is to create the property object. Follow the same instructions from the customer object to create the property object. Here I have already completed the property object. After completion of the task, your property object should also look like this. The next task is to integrate JotForm with Salesforce platform. Integrate the Salesforce org with JotForm and map each and every field on the object with the fields on the form and save the action. Then save the integration and click on finish. The next activity is creating roles as per the business requirement. Go to setup and click on the roles, then expand all and add a role just below the sales representative with label sales executive. And then follow the same to add sales manager and customer. It should look like this, where the sales executive reports to sales representative, sales manager role reports to sales executive, and the customer role reports to sales manager. The next activity is to create a property details app. Create a new Lightning app and name it as property details and add customer and property object. After the completion of the task, it should look like this. The next task is to create profiles, customer and manager. From setup, go to profiles and clone Salesforce platform user and name it as customer. Uncheck all the permissions and add only the necessary permissions. This is how the customer profile should look like. Do the same for the manager, and at the end of the task, the manager profile should look like this. The next task is to create a checkbox field on user. In the fields and relationships of the user, create a new field named as verified and change its data type to checkbox. Here you can see that I have changed the data type to checkbox. The next activity is to create users with different roles and profiles. Here you can see the mentioned name, role, license and profile, and these are all the users with different roles and profiles I have created. The next task is to create an approval process for property object. Create a process automation approval process named property approval with the mentioned criteria and select the fields to display on the approval page layout. Here you can see the approval criteria and also the actions created in the approval steps approval action for verified property, and rejection actions for unverified property. The next task is to create a record triggered flow as mentioned here on the screen. Click on new and select record trigger flow. Select object as property. Select trigger the flow when a record is created and set entry conditions to none. Add a action submit for approval. Give the label approval for property and record ID as triggered record ID. Then click on done. Save the flow, and the final flow should look like this, containing the action approval for property, and after creating the flow, activate it. The next task is creating an app page. From setup, go to Lightning App Builder, click on new and select the app page and click on next. Label it and click on header and left sidebar. After the completion, it should look like this. The next task is creating an LWC component. Create an Apex class with aura enabled and name it as property handler LWC. Then create a Lightning Web component in your VS Code and authorize it to your org. Enter your login ID and password to authorize your org, and create a Lightning Web component and name it anything you want. The VS Code snippet should look like this. This is the HTML code, this is the JS, and in the meta file give your targets to deploy the component, and this is the project file structure. After saving all the three codes, right click and deploy the component to the org. The next activity is to drag the component to your app page. By clicking on the edit page, you can drag the previously created property details component to your app page and then save the page. This is how it should look like after the completion of the task. The next activity is to give access of Apex classes to the profiles. From setup, search for Apex classes and click on security behind the Apex class that you have created. From profiles, add manager and customer, then save. You can see the result of our application by clicking on the properties, commercial, rental or residential. You can see all the details. We can also see the customer details that customer have entered through the form. These are all the customers that have submitted their form with the details. These are all the users who have entered their details through the form. You can see them using jot form tables. This is the form I have created, and I am checking it here live to see if the details are correctly adding or not. As we can see here, the name that we have currently created has added to our application, and it is also added to the jot form tables, so we can safely say that our application is working. We can easily access all the details that user have entered through this form through our application. In conclusion, the CRM application is crafted to meet the unique requirements of real estate professionals, offering a comprehensive solution for managing client relationships, property listings, and sales process. This platform enhances operational efficiency by centralizing data, automating routine tasks, and facilitating seamless communication between team members and clients. And that's all about my application. Thank you.